getting an understanding of your overall, again, competitive format. Map rotation, though, is going to be the same as it was for match A. 0 down is where we start. And then you also have round 3, it's going to be Rockish. Now, granted, those two are going to be airdrop rounds. 0 Dem is an airdrop round. It is an opportunity to get your loot. It's an opportunity to get your AWM and also an opportunity to set the pace of what you could be expecting on that very stage.
Well, here we go, folks. The players are loading in. It is time for some 0 Dam, and we are just getting started with Group B. A time to set the tone, set the pace. How fast are we going to be flying around this map? There's no mantle brick, but there's still a lot at stake. A lot of loot value you can add to your total starting right now. Take the lead while you can.
Yes.
Push aggressively, take the fights. Keep our eyes peeled to that Dam extraction. It's going to be fun to watch out for. And we'll get a quick look at these spawns to see who gets T1 spawns to start. And it does look like legit Brazil. And it will be, I believe that is MG. Yes, MG in the blue.
Yep.
Going to be pushing over to admin as well. Watch out for those two teams that have power position on the map and likely two of the first teams that will clash for the first fight.
Well, as we know, admin sees a lot of activity, and there's naturally going to always be two teams that are going to be going straight in. In this case, it's going to be Moon Grab going against LEG, legit Brazil. A chance to obviously set the tone is here for ESG. Maybe they rotate up. They are going to be a bit spread, but that's going to be okay. Nobody's around them over by visitors. So admin is where we keep our attention to as they start to progress throughout. It's going to be a shorter map, only, I believe, 16 minutes, so it's going to go by pretty quick. Now, for those aggressive rosters, for example, ESG, how active do they decide to get off the rip, especially over on the visitor side? Do they decide to go up towards admin? There is an opportunity potentially for them to drop down and maybe challenge that of TSG, which is very much a possibility, or ISG, excuse me, on Special Gamer, who's going to be just off to their left.
Yeah, and again, let me kind of set the scene. If you didn't get a chance to screenshot that map, see where everybody spawned at, we got two teams in admin. Taylor talked about it. MG, that's Mugrab, and legit Brazil, LEG in the yellow. That's blue and yellow, both in admin, playing around this Dam extraction, and of course the admin building itself. On the other side, you see them now, Mantle Brick Addiction, over here in Barracks, looting up by themselves. They know that after they contest it very quickly, they're going to get anything that they can find. Fine. Ink is down in Cement Plant, and then you've got ESG, like you mentioned, way over there in Visitor Center, probably going to skate around the eastern side of the map up to the north side, and maybe chow admin, ISG over in Substation into the south. Quick look on the left-hand side of your screen. You can now see operator choices to start things off. A little bit of a different story than Group A. Only one Nox being used, and it's from the side of ISG. And any other big hits from you, obviously we could see a couple Viren operators already being burned. That's 3 of them to be exact across the board here. And honestly, 2 Senevas already, which is maybe even more than all of the maps combined from Group A. 2 Senevas for our very first round.
Actually, I think we...
Oh, 3, yeah, 3.
3, yeah. So NBA, ESG, LEG. Gonna be rocking Seneva, which, again, just comes to show you the differences in play style, the differences in strategy from one match to the next in Match B, which is going to be fun when you do combine the ultimate winners going into the upper bracket, seeing what strategy works, what obviously doesn't. We do notice ESG starts to work their way up towards the northern side of things, maybe potentially going into admin.
Yeah, a quick look, by the way, left-hand side of your screen, a little pickup here. NBA, triple LMG meta? Okay, boys, I see what you're spitting out right now. They're looking for the long-range encounters in 0 Dam. Gonna play some of these longer sight lines. Triple LMG is wild from Skady Buldo and Yul Valir. It'll be fun to watch out what they are able to do, and frankly, how they take their fights with this in hand. Obviously, LMG's hit like a truck. PKM, the leader in that category in my mind, and many minds of the people at home. So we'll see how they take fights if they do. We're taking a look at all of our teams, but let's look at what ESG has found. As expected, they rotated up the eastern side of the map to the northeast and now have a high ground position. I think what they've spotted is one member of MG who's outside the Dam extraction. Can I just say,
it's a nasty little eight.
As per the usual, the fight over the Dam extraction is always going to be there. But the fact that MG has already moved, they've got 2 people already in the Dam extract. We're barely 4 minutes into the game. They're already trying to leave, man.
Yep.
They got 1.1 mil, and they said, yeah, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna make sure we extract. And they're at least protecting this position for anybody that wants to chow them this early. They pulled that lever immediately.
Yeah, I honestly I'm not against it. I mean, they're already at 1.1 million. It's not the most, but it's also not the least. You can walk out with a big goose egg potentially. So good stuff. If MG wants to do it, let's see if it ends up paying off. It could also be a talking point depending where MG ends up finishing on the standings once we finish match B. And you can maybe raise the question. You go back to of course, 0 down. Was it worth it for them to have an early extraction? Oh, they've weighed the pros and cons. If they decide to get out, obviously that's on them. But it's getting highly contested up at the top, isn't it? You got ESG, LEG still around, MG also in the location. You do notice Inc. and ISG might be, kind of going towards each other eventually as well. We'll see if that ends up unfolding. But for now, though, there is a little bit of space.
Yeah, and there's plenty of room here, but you're right. ISG and Inc. about to engage each other in theory. Obviously, Inc. underground, so maybe they'll just skate by each other, but you can kind of see it on the mini-map there. Those gray dots, that's going to be ISG. They could potentially fight. On the other side, there is 8 seconds, and we actually see off-screen the first knock and full. ESG maybe overstayed their welcome, and LEG has struck from distance and got the full?
Yeah.
How were they able to get the full with that angle? That's something we got to take a look at on the replays.
And I do want to say MG does get 2 players out. They fully committed to it. They're going to leave 1 player behind to challenge the entirety of the lobby. But for ESG's sake, yeah, getting 1 player already knocked is tough given how much we hyped them up in the beginning.
Yeah, super interesting strategies thus far. ESG forced to retreat. Oh, it looks like he maybe peeked and then actually fell off the rock as he was coming down. Maybe he was actually hitting the zip and got fried on the zip. We'll have to look back on that. But because of that, was able to get finished off no problem because there's basically no cover. Look at this angle that LEG hit. Latam, first blood, gentlemen. Well done.
Latam region across multiple esports tends to be highly aggressive. That's what they're known for, at least in my mind. Airdrop is going to be down. And who has priority on the airdrop? Well, you got the solo player from MG who stayed behind. The other 2 are extracted, who's going to be in the vicinity. NBA is starting to move up themselves. Inc. even getting a little bit close, maybe looking to challenge out of admin and ultimately the airdrop. And of course, LEG with the knock on ESG. I think for them, they're not going to necessarily focus on the airdrop, but more so try to keep ESG at bay.
Yeah, I mean, I like the strategy. I wish we could. I mean, I wish I could go energy players right now. I want to know what MG strat was. I mean,
Just a game.
They had 1.1 mil. It's like, frankly, you could probably fit 1.1 mil in safe boxes. Like, why are they having 2 people leave so early? Any of the strat heads in the chat, I know you're out there. Somebody tell me what's going on. I think they're just trying to protect their loot and prepare for a mana brick round, I guess. So they're going to leave 1 to play spoiler. Not a terrible play, but definitely a new one for what I've seen on main stage. So shout out to MG with some new strats. We'll see if it pays off for them.
All right, the loot is being gathered. Things are looking decently well.
Nice.
This side of NBA. Now, not too bad. And I'm surprised they don't get challenged off of this airdrop. 1.4. They're going to be up in first place now, even that over Inc.
Yeah, Boldo on the side, NBA in the mix. And here's a replay. Oh, I love it. Shout out to production finding this angle. Are you kidding me?
Nice shot.
Yeah, it does look like he hit the zip, and because of that, gets punished for it. Great shots from LEG, and a great finish as well to pick up 1 kill on ESG. Now, of course, I think those ESG players are still trying to fight for the revive. I think they couldn't really get. It's pretty difficult to get that res actually, if at all. I mean, you'd have to hit the zip and fall off the zip and try to drop down on the body, but I don't even know if that's possible. So because of that, they're just going to back off, and now that LEG is given up camping that death, because I don't think they can actually even get the revive, they're going to play around admin here. 8 minutes on the clock is plenty. But that last remaining player of MG is just hiding in one of these shipping containers, just trying to play spoiler to somebody that enters into his crosshairs for a hair too long.
Wow.
NBA found that graphics card that's worth about 338K, if I remember correctly, somewhere around there. So a decent little value add that's actually bumped NBA up to the top of the leaderboard in terms of loot value thus far. Got to get out with it, of course.
Not a bad game so far for Inc. either. They've looked quite healthy. They start to move into the admin area. Slowly, slowly, slowly they go. Not wanting to make too much noise. Of course, not knowing who's up above them, which they do have company. A bit further up is going to be LEG. Fun thing, though, to take note, that solo player from MG
Oh, they're chilling, man.
He definitely is, but it's like he can also play spoiler, which could be incredibly fun, really.
Yeah, and again, I mean, like I was saying, he's prone out in the shipping container. He's just waiting for somebody to walk into his crosshairs.
Well, yeah, I mean, you go
like,
back.
don't give away position or anything.
Well, you go back to Mo, like, for example. Another airdrop is going to be down, and this is going to be NBA. Should get it pretty much free and clear if they can just fully commit to it at the moment.
Yeah, it's all NBA all day right here. It's a free airdrop for them, and again, they're already at the top of the leaderboard, so it's a nice boon.
Well, LG is moving in, though. They might want to challenge. NBA should get they should get the airdrop. However, LEG might be able to get the cleanup depending. And Ink is going to be behind LEG, so you might have a bit of a pincer moment.
Yeah, and obviously you could see how valuable the Lapua ammo is. AWM, insanely strong of a weapon. And we say this every competition. If you didn't tune into Group A, then maybe you'll hear this for the first time. But with these airdrops comes the AWM. Now, the AWM is special in many ways. Obviously, it is an insanely powerful sniper rifle. It will one-shot. It is insane. But more than that, the ammo for the AWM, insanely expensive, but also can't be put in your safe box. So now you have a big walking target on your back if anybody else watched you loot this airdrop or notices that you do because of how valuable this weapon and its ammo are. But most of these teams are trying to get out of the map with the weapon rather than use it on this map. They want to be able to use the AWM and its ammo in a Mandel brick round.
Here we go. NBA starts to move up closer and closer to ISG. Shots are fired. Cats out of the bag. They know exactly where they're at, but a nice shot could send ISG to their knees. And clearly we got to watch NBA's perspective, see what they're up to. And, well, one of them's going to take quite a bit of damage, but this player from ISG up ahead is playing with his luck. He takes the wrong peek. His head is gone.
Yeah, again, Skydy's the one actually carrying the AWM, so you might be thinking, why does this guy have a sniper in zero dam? Well, it's because he just picked it up. This is the AWM, looking downrange. He's going to one-shot if he connects with it. Patience is a virtue, though. The ammo's expensive, and yeah. Hey, headshot will add a little insult to injury. I don't even know if he technically needs it with the limitations on the gear right now. Just body shots will probably one-shot him, but a great shot nonetheless. It's going to even the tally and actually push it back to their advantage. One of their players was not quite down, but very low. And now Skydy's getting aggressive. They've got player advantage. They need to play these trades. Going for the flash, goes for the angles. He gets punished for it, but they've got the trades. Great double take here from the side of NBA as they wipe one member of ISG. Mojo is out of here, and all of a sudden, Ghost has struck back as we lose Boldo. Skydy getting revived here. Ghost could get aggro, could make a play when he hears that timer and that revive going off, and NBA knows it. It is a 1v1.
There we go. Ghost takes it, but taken down. It will be NBA with the ultimate win. That is massive for them, not only to protect the Technic Alloy that they've already been able to gather, but also the AWM that they worked so hard to get in the airdrop just previously. And now they are pretty much free and clear to extract, get out, and take the AWM into Brockish to play for the Mandelbrick.
Yeah, I love the composure that we saw from Uvalier there to win the 1v1, to know that as he was sticking the res, that the alarm bells are going off to his opponents. It's a 1v1. He's got advantage. Let me utilize that and win the fight. So a great take there from NBA. They're going to restabilize and be able to play, but we got to turn our eyes to the top of the map. We did have two members of MG get out via the dam extraction. The third stayed behind, and now the third is ready to leave again via the exact same extraction point. There's enough time for the dam extraction to go off for a second time. It's a minute and 30 remaining, and the last remaining member of MG is on the extraction as LEG and Ink trade blows, and it's LEG again finding another blood. Ink in a bit of trouble.
But that's going to be okay. You've been hyped enough. Baby B, rightly so, on your screen. A chance to maybe solidify his name to the audience. Nate's coming through, but nothing's going to be connected. LEG will manage to stand up, but only for just the time being. Still scary that ESG is in the vicinity. You also have, of course, the solo from MG, who's still in the area. Here he is. And not much he can really do, but except surprise the roster of LEG.
Hey, look, I'm a big fan of Sunniva. Can I just say, the beatdown with the shield is one of the most satisfying things in Delta Force. We saw it all the time in the regional finals. We saw it all the time in Warfare. We did not see it hardly at all in Group A. It's good to see it already in the first game of Group B. But turn our eyes back to Ink. They've lost Killzall, and it's just Baby B and Easy trying to play slow here. they've actually got a team of 2 are the ones that are carrying them on the right-hand side. That's ESG, who lost their third remaining player from that LEG roster. LEG has power position. LEG has the extraction point on lockdown. These other 2 teams got to figure out what they're doing. They don't have time to make it to that extraction point. LEG is going to get out for free with a couple kills to boot. A great map for LEG. Legit Brazil starting out strong. You'll see them leave here in about 7 seconds.
There as well from NBA is also going to be going south, most likely having the majority of the loot, the 4.2 million they've been able to accomplish. The extraction is in. LEG are gone. A very successful game number 1. Well done to the boys. Now, for ESG's sake, what's the game plan? Inc. as well. What are we going to do here? A lot of people willing to take on, but I think they're going to have to fight. And surprisingly, 2 players from NBA are actually going to fight, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, this is tried and true zero dam right here. We fight outside the extraction point, we don't make it, and now we have 90 seconds to figure out how can I add value to my team. Do I go for kills? Do I try to extract? There are some extraction points you can theoretically get to, but ESG lying in wait. They set a trap, but actually don't execute on it.
The mantle!
Easy was able to strike back, and the mantle means at ESG couldn't get a full knock. Now in trouble, having to back off. Inc. trying to figure out what to do. They were gifted with that one, and now Skydie from distance? Hey, we talked about the LMGs,
well,
dude. They hit like a truck from
Yes.
distance. NBA getting active, and Jubileer is getting out of the map.
Yes, Skydie has been incredible. We saw a nice headshot with AWM just a little bit earlier. This time around with the LMG from a distance, managing to make it happen. Jubileer from NBA has managed to go ahead and extract, protect the loot of NBA. In the meantime, only 45 seconds remain. Options are running slim, especially for those who haven't found much success. ESG, Inc., right? NBA, they're just playing with their food at this point, and Skydie gets another.
Skydie is hitting right now. Fantastic shots, and all of a sudden, the top dogs on paper will not be the top dogs after map 1. ESG falter early and falter late. 25 seconds and counting each of these kills. 400K. Skydie trying to be a hero against 2 members of Inc. His teammate nowhere to be found, and Skydie gets cut down. There was one more member of NBA, Boldo, a little bit away. The problem is there's only 12 seconds remaining. Inc. is getting anything they can get their hands on.
He can make it,
get the safe box, maybe. Get a couple kills, and that's all you're going to be able to get. Boldo in the final couple seconds. Do you have an angle to get the knock? Get the knock. Did he get the full in time? He does!
Wow! Wow! An additional 400K right at the tail end, literally at the buzzer beater. Well done. I mean,
Nice.
NBA, come on. That is one of the best starts we have seen so far, outside of Q9, obviously. But Skydie, come on. With the sniper AWM, doing it with the LMG from a distance. You get one guy extracted. Like, do you need a better start than that?
Yeah, and frankly, honestly, for NBA, it's only a boon. Like, it doesn't really matter if you die there. You're not going to extract. So if I can get a kill, that's an extra 400K that gets added to our stash.
Right.
And for the likes of Inc., they're like, oh, well, whatever. They got 400K. It doesn't hurt them at all. They're not getting out of the map. They get whatever in their safe box. And it looked like, I believe, that one member of Inc. that was looting was just trying to stash his safe box with whatever he could find. And so it'll be really fun to see the leaderboard after the end of this one.
Oh, yeah.
That did not go the way I thought it would go.
Not at all.
From the interesting strategy of MG to send 2 out within the first 4 minutes of the game, to ESG getting cut down early and then faltering late, that was a wild map.
Yes, it definitely was. MG was definitely a big. They're going to be looking healthy, and there it is. 3.56 million to the 1.65 of LEG. A total of 6, of course, for them, and then 3 for the LEG side. Now, we questioned MG. They don't need to get out with the mill. I was expecting it to be a little bit higher, but granted, they still finish ahead of Inc. They finish ahead of ESG and ISG. A bit of a questionable play, but albeit it does work out at least for map number 1.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat, and there's a lot of fans of Malaprick Addictions.
Of course.
They've got a lot of fans at home cheering them on and certainly excited about their map 1 victory. Here's a look at the damage charts, and especially on the back of that final kill in the final second, NBA tops the charts at over 1,000 damage across their team. Second, I believe, maybe a tie or very close, ISG and Inc. Both and LSG, all about the same, around 500 total damage.
Yep.
So a fun fight, a fun first map, very different from Group A. And if it's setting the tone, I don't know what the tone is.
Yeah, right.
C minor? I don't know a lot of music stuff. But here's a look at our best team. Malaprick Addiction, NBA on top, 6 kills and a total of 3.56 mil. And I think the AWM,
Yes,
this
yeah,
team
yeah.
is crushing it, man.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to really appreciate Skydie and the way that he played the AWM. Hitting that headshot was nasty. It was disgusting. Jubileer getting out when he needed to. perfect. And Buldo hitting the final shot. At NBA, of course, Skydie has to be the match MVP. Rightly so. I mean, he was popping heads. He was getting the damage done. 3.0 KD. He was doing it all. Skydie is that guy.
Yeah, almost 500 damage, 3 kills, and an assist. This team was phenomenal, and Skydie obviously set the tone for that with the AWM, getting that headshot, opened up that fight. And frankly, if he wouldn't have done that, I think they ended up losing that fight. It came down to a 1v1. He opened it up.
That is true.
That is start. So.
That is a great